Welcome to Bookwood! Hi, I'm glad you chose to spend some time with me. October is already gone and it is thus time to look at my reading stats for that month. That will be the first part of this video. I start with preparing my spread, which takes the usual layout of a double spread of one that is transformed in a Dutch door, and I decorate it in the same style that I decorated my basic monthly spreads in my reading journal. You can find a link to that video here. I'm not sure how to feel about this reading month. It wasn't exceptionally bad. I had no DNFs, but I also didn't find any 5-star reads. I see most of my reads were just books that I had a good time reading, but then that did not touch me very deep. I also failed to read all the books that I wanted to read, and I don't really know how this happened. I did read all the books that I set out to read for TBR Harvest by Leandra from Leandra the TBR Zero, which is a success on its own, but I did not read the books for Les Étapes Indiennes and for my reread project. I also had to replace a book that I was looking very much forward to read from my TBR Harvest TBR, which was Les Temps des Brumes, de Alain T. Puisségur, by another one, because this book recently came out and it is not available yet in my library, so I have to wait until it arrives. And the book I read instead was also a very good book, and I was very happy to read it, as you can see in, I think it is vlog 2. I will put the links to my vlogs for this reading month in my description box, because I have read only one book that is not for the readathon. And so in this review part, that is part 3 of this video, you will have only the review of this one book. And if you want to see the reviews of the other books I've read, then I direct you towards my 2 October vlogs. I am making this voiceover on a Wednesday afternoon, which means that my kids are home, and I would like to ask you, if we come to the end of this video and we haven't any intruding sounds by them, will you let them a little festive or hand clapping emoji in the comments to say thank you for their silence? That was the setup part. Let's dive into the stats part. I will announce them maybe not in the same order as they appear on the screen, but don't worry, in the end they will all be there for you to review. So in October I read 12 books, and like I said, I DNF'd none of them. And even if that sounds as a big amount of books, that was only 2,176 pages over the 8 physical books and the 1 ebook I read combined. There are 4 audiobooks, of which one I did not finish yet. It's one that is going over to November, and the total of the hours listened to is 42 hours and 49 minutes. I didn't find any 5 stars in this whole stack that was made up of 8 novels, 1 novella, and 3 manga volumes. 7 of these books came from the library. 1 was a book that I paid for on Audible, 3 were Audible included, and 1 book was Kindle included. The top genres I read during this month are again fantasy, and sci-fi, and then there is a third place that is shared between several other genres. I read books from 10 different authors, and surprisingly only 4 of them were new ones. This leads us to the series, and this means that I must have been continuing some of them. So I did start 4 series. I read 2 sequels and I finished 3 series. And as you will see later in my reading journal updates, I indicate only 2 finished series. That's because the audiobook that I am listening to is closing a series as well, and it is already picked up in this part of the statistics. Of all those series books, I read 4 books that are for a duology and 5 that were for a series. This means that there is 3 books that are standalones. I had some white spaces left that I wanted to fill up with some color, so I used the same sticker set that the one I used for the pages for the TBR Harvest Atom. So it is represented on this stats page as well. I switched back to my first reading journal for 2025 to complete the pages for my year-long challenges. Let's see for how many I made progress. I did read my Year in Eldia Adventures book, which was a sci-fi. Hi Aurea. The book that I read is Le Monde de Julia, and it is the one that will be reviewed at the end of this video. And as you can see, I have tried out a glue tape before, which I very much loved, and it was empty, so I had to go back to a glue stick. Now I'm sad. 2 of the books I read can count towards prompts of the 52 Book Club's yearly challenge. So let's make the little vignettes for that and paste them in my stats part of my reading journal. I will use this time to tell you that I think this is a challenge I will be able to finish this year. I have a few prompts left, and most of them can be filled with books that I already wanted to read. And I think there is only one prompt that I had to look for a book that was fitting, and I found one that sounds interesting. So I hope to be able to read, I think it's 5 books that are left over before the end of December. We'll see if I manage to do that. I also get to add in an extra vignette that is for the October mini challenge of the 52 Book Club's yearly challenge. I saw that the challenge for next year is announced, and unfortunately I didn't got the time yet to go watch the video, but I am pretty sure that I will take part in this challenge again next year. The prompts are always quite original and fun, some more challenging, others less, and they always make me discover completely new books or authors, and that's why I do this challenge in the first place. I also was able to add one author to my ABC challenge. It's on authors' last names. I am pretty sure I won't be able to finish this challenge this year, and that's not a problem. I'm still debating with myself if I do one again next year, but then maybe on the author's first name. Let me know if that's interesting to you. I read one book that I could paste into the 25 in 25 challenge from Brie from 4 Paws and a Book. That leaves me with one book left, and that is already planned out. I did not read a book for Les Étapes Indiennes, and I did read, just at the end of the month, my book for the Fit Salon. I didn't read my reread project book, and I didn't read any books that were laying around my house. So here is my series tracker on which I can mark 2 series as completed. The third one I will mark off once I effectively have finished the book, so that will be in my November wrap-up. Luckily, I left myself an extra spread because I needed that. And I added 3 new titles of series to my trackers list. This feels a little bit scary because there are a lot on there, and I'm impatient to see at the end of this year if I could have kept my active series at around 20, like my goal was at the start of the year. I said I started 4 series, and that's completely correct. The 4th one that I'm not adding here is for the Fit Salon, and for which I will start the Rain Wild Chronicles. It's 4 books, so not a trilogy, series, I suppose. And since it has already a place in my reading journal, I have not doubled up for that on this tracker. This is already the last page of my yearly pages, and it is for the Mooney Book Club, of which I am a member. And I decided not to read the book that was picked for October. It is a young adult, it is a first book in a series, and I wasn't interested enough to start a new series, and I preferred to use the time that I have left then to read a book for finishing a series. This month we have an extra spread to fill out, and I almost forgot about it. It is the TBR Harvest Bingo Board. I picked one at the start of the month, not to use it for the prompts to pick out my TBR for the month, but to see, just for fun, if I could score a bingo with the books I've read and the prompts I've got. I have sped this up quite a lot since it took me quite a while to figure out which book I could use for which prompt, and I used several books several times just because they fitted the prompt. And I will let you with the suspense to see if I got a bingo or not. So this is the second part of this reading wrap-up. We had the stats prior, and in this part I will talk to you about the one and only book that I have read that was not for the TBR-a-thon. I have read for this a French book. It's called Le Monde de Julia, or Julia's World, and for now this is a French only book. This is a sci-fi in which I dove without really knowing what it was about. And although it was very interesting, it is also a book that I kind of regret diving in without knowing. So in this book we are meeting Julia, and Julia is around 11 years old at the point that we encounter her. And she lives in what used to be a ski station or ski resort, together with a robot. His task is to help Julia grow and instruct her so she can become a woman that is fully instructed. Their world has fallen apart, and so he also protects her from everything that's happening around. Our society, so we learn, has tumbled down because of social and nature disasters. And humanity has been reduced to not that many left, and those that are left have grouped themselves in cult-like societies that all have their rules based on famous books, films, or video games. And we will discover a little bit of that side of the world, also following several characters that are traveling for different reasons through this domain. But we will mainly follow Julia and how she reacts when the battery of her robot dies out and that she's left alone. She then leaves to go and look for her parents that abandoned her, and will make her way all the way through these different cults as well. She will finally meet someone who will reveal a lot of things to her, and that part, of course, I cannot tell you because I will spoil it for people who do have access to the French language, the French literature. And I enjoyed the story part when I discovered these cult-like societies. I really wanted to know a lot more about them, and unfortunately we did not. This book is also more philosophical. So it's a philosophical sci-fi in which we explore the idea of justice and law and how to create a correct one. It makes me think of Sophie's World that was very popular in the 90s that I've read back then, because it will really inject very clearly all these philosophical ideas, and it has more the purpose to reflect on those than to tell the story. And that's why I should have known what I was in for when I started it, because I feel that I got into this book unprepared, without any back knowledge about this kind of philosophy. I studied more the moral ethics of Immanuel Kant at school, and also without having this back knowledge and without expecting such a more heavy topic, I felt disappointed, and that made my read less joyful. But if you are into this type of thinking and reasoning, and if you are able to read in French, then this book should be for you. I also started one audiobook, and that is A Theory of Dreaming by Eva Reed. It's the second part of A Study in Drowning. And I stopped, the month ended when I was halfway through, so I will keep my review for next month. So if you want to know what I thought about that, you can always find it in my wrap-up for November. See you soon!